Today, I'm here with Russell Jarrett. With 30 years in the Australian fitness industry, Russell has been in every role you can think of: instructor, trainer, educator, now health club owner, employer, and mentor of young trainers. He's also worked in elite sports for 20 years, has traveled all over the world with teams that presented internationally. His unique center, Infinity Health Club, is the culmination of his work and experiences, and with over 2,000 paying members, we're going to talk about sales and being adaptable. Growing a small business isn't easy, and to be successful, we know three things for sure. You have to work hard, you have to be bold, and you must constantly learn. We're gathering some of the best minds in the business world to share their ideas and strategies with you so you can grow your business easier, be more profitable, and have a lot more fun being a business owner. We're on a mission to connect the world of wellness, and this is the Mind Body Bold Show. What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Garcia, and welcome back to another episode of The Bold Show. Russell, are you ready to be bold?
Certainly am, Mike. It's great to be here.
2,000 paying members. You don't just get there. Your sales game's got to be on point, but you also have to be really great at retaining people as well. So I want to talk about that. But before we talk about that, you're one of the speakers at the Mind Body Bold Conference, and it's really on the topic of being adaptable.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about the sales, we're going to talk about the retention, how you do all that. But first, let's go over that. What do you mean by being adaptable?
So this is a presentation and a concept that I've been working on for a little while, because when I look back at my time in the fitness industry over 30 years, and as you spend a lot of time in the industry, you tend to review yourself a little bit more rather than preview, because you've got a lot of history there, and you're like, well, why do I have that history? Why have I survived? And I think probably the key thing that I came up with was that I have a skill, and that is to be adaptable. So if I've got that skill and that's allowed me to succeed over this time, then why can't I impart that skill and that awareness onto other people? So it's the ability, in my opinion, adaptability is that ability to merge into your environment and to be good in that situation, and to develop your skills, your communication abilities, your technical skills to make sure that you can survive.
Now, you've been in the industry for 30 years. Have you noticed a big change in the industry in that time frame?
Yeah, massive changes. I mean, it's a dynamic industry anyway. The fitness industry is dynamic, but when you've been in it for that long, there's been some massive changes. But at the same time, I've seen some reinvention of the same stuff. So some of the things that I was doing back then in the day still apply now, still work now. They're still relevant now. But I think it's just that we change the way we go about it, with technology and with the way that different business models evolve. Yeah, there's changes, there's massive changes, but some of the tried and true principles, I believe, still apply, and I still use them.
So I want to talk about some of the principles, right? When we talk about that, what do we mean? What are some of the things that haven't changed?
Yeah, good customer service. Good customer service is key in this industry. I think that...
And even that's changed in the last 30 years.
Yeah.
Right?
The way we do that, absolutely. But, you change the way you're presenting good customer service, but people still know whether that's good or not.
Right.
Smart consumers know that's good customer service. The way that makes them feel, the way they feel supported, the way they feel like they're being treated as an individual, they know that.
Right.
So it's just that we might package it up a different way. I think that still having good technical skills is important. The fitness industry, I think, over time has struggled a little bit with producing results. And that's one of the things that I always come back to. So if someone comes into my club, if someone comes to me for advice, guidance, expertise, the overriding aim from my point of view is, let's get results.
Right.
Let's make sure this person succeeds.
Awesome.
Because that's critical.
All right, so when we talk about you having 2,000 paying members, we're not talking about like a $9 membership, right?
No.
Like, what does your average member pay you per month?
Our base or average membership is around about $16.50 Australian a week.
A week?
A week.
So you're talking $33, $66 a month?
Yes.
So in Australia, is that common to charge per week versus per month?
That's kind of just the way I talk about it. Yeah.
Okay.
So we do mostly direct debit with our memberships now. some people still are a little uncomfortable with that, but not many.
Okay.
Well over 90% of our members are direct debit. And we don't have lock-in contracts, which is a little bit unique.
Okay.
A lot of clubs that are similar to my business model have a lock-in contract. So if you join and you do a direct debit, it's minimum 12 months. If you happen to decide that you don't want to be a member after 6, well, that's just too bad.
Okay.
But I made the decision early on to not do that.
Now, the average member's paying you about $65 or more per month. But so that's obviously a decent amount. It's not the highest, it's not the lowest. You're right in that middle point.
Yep.
But you have 2,000 members. That doesn't happen unless you're retaining. So what I want to do is I'm going to ask you a few questions on how you got that many members.
Yep.
Okay. And then I'm going to dig in a little bit more as to how you're able to keep so many. Because I think a lot of people that have maybe a few hundred members maybe have had thousands if they would have kept them all.
Yeah.
But because they're always churning,
Yeah.
they just keep finding themselves back in the same spot or maybe slightly
Treading
above.
water.
Yeah, exactly. So 2,000 members, what would you say is your top 2 or 3 lead sources, the way that most people walk into your doors?
Well, initially it was just a heavy marketing campaign, and we just saturated every marketing avenue we possibly could to try and get some momentum. But
What were the top ones in there?
we went with Facebook ads, we went with local press, we went with some public relations, we went with some face-to-face marketing, so getting out there and talking to the community, doing presentations.
When you did Facebook ads, was there an offer like come for a free workout or a free week or a discounted price?
Yeah, we had an offer which was essentially try us for a free week.
Okay.
We knew once we got people in the venue that the venue and the people, or the staff, myself and the staff, could convert from there. So one of the things which I believe is critical to our success is that we established a venue that was different. It was special. We put a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of money into the presentation because we wanted it to be a little unique, and we wanted it to be something that people walked into and went, wow, this is cool.
Well, so that's what we'll talk about now.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you have people come in, right? Let's say through Facebook ads.
Yeah.
So they walk in the door for their free week. When does the salesperson begin the conversation of becoming an ongoing member? Is in that first conversation? Is it after their first session? At the end of the week?
Yeah.
When does that happen?
Yeah, so I think for me the conversation starts there and then, but the conversation is not so much about selling a membership, it's about creating a rapport, because for me that's where the sales process starts. So I've had different roles over my lifetime too in terms of sales and all of that. And I think my greatest success has always been when I've been able to connect on some kind of level with that person and understand. So I don't sell from a features and benefits point of view, I sell from a needs perspective. So I need to understand what that person needs, why are you here, because I think that underpins their motivation to purchase a membership eventually. And that's how I train all my staff. Because if you, especially in Australia, it's a slightly different culture, it's a slightly different expectation. But if you come straight out of the gates and try and sell someone on a membership, they're going to block you straight up.
Really?
Yeah. No matter how amazing the venue is or what you've got, if you come out too hard, it's just kind of the way we are. They're going to block you and just go, you know what? Just back off. Let me have a look around. Let me feel the place. Yeah. So, my understanding of the Australian culture is just go gently and connect with people, and then it'll work.
Okay. So now, once you get that person, they got their free week. Now it's time to go into the close and really see if we can convert them into a paying member.
Yeah.
What are some of the objections that you deal with that you've learned to overcome?
Look, price is not so much of an objection with our club because we think we're well priced for what we offer. In fact, we think we're really well priced. I think that most of the time it comes back to people's availability, people's time, people's their self-questioning. Can I actually commit to this? Is it going to work? I think, and that's something that we try and overcome early on. People seem to have this fear of, can I commit to this? Am I able to be disciplined enough to commit to the time and the effort and the energy and use my membership effectively? That's not everyone, but that's a lot of people that we deal with. Yeah.
Now you take fast food companies, right? They sell burgers for extremely cheap, which is crazy because there's no way you can make money off that burger, but they don't. They make most of their money off of the fries and the shake, right? The side dishes that have very, very low cost, great margins. In every business, that is possible as well. So when I had a chance to talk with you, you have your burger, which is your $65 membership, but you also have availability to sell upsells, add-ons, all those different things. So talk to me about the different things that you can offer that you really get extra margins from, extra profit from every single month from your members.
Yeah, so our club is what we term as a full service club. So we've got a 24/7 gym, which in the area that we're in is unique as well because there's never been one there before. We have group exercise classes, which is included in the membership. So that's your base, right? Your membership and your group X. But then we have clinical Pilates, we have physiotherapy, we have podiatry, we have personal training, and we have an indoor pool, a small indoor pool. And again, it's the only one in the region. So we get a lot of business through that for private swimming lessons for children and aquafit classes for adults. So I guess what happens is people come in with the intention of using the gym and doing group exercise, and then after a couple of sessions, they walk around and they go, wow, you've got Pilates, I've never tried that. What happens there? You've got a pool. I've got 3 children and I've never had them being able to do swimming lessons, so I'm going to bring them in. So people come in to just maybe experience something small about the club and then realise there's other things that they can then buy into. Right. And again, we don't really push too hard to try and sell that because we believe that the experience will sell that on our behalf.
Okay, awesome. So we talked about Facebook ads. We talked about other ways that you were able to get in business. But let's talk about how you're able to keep so many members.
Yep.
And obviously customer service, but that's such a broad thing. And Jay Bear said in his episode, 80% of customers, 80% of businesses believe they give superior customer service, but when surveying their customers, only 88% agree.
Yep.
Right? So a lot of the people that are listening or watching are probably going, oh yeah, well, I got that down.
Yeah.
So let's talk about customer service in your eyes, because even though they may think they have it down, they may not have 2,000 paying members.
Sure.
So you have it down. So talk to me about how you're able to keep so many people.
That's because I learned a lesson many years ago when I first started working in the fitness industry. I started working as a personal trainer at a private PT studio, which was one of the first of its kind in Melbourne. And I'm still very, very close friends with that guy today, and he's kind of been a mentor of mine. And the one unique thing that they had going on at that venue, which I've tried to replicate with my club, is a how would you describe it? Almost a sense of belonging, almost a community within a community, and all my staff are very well adept and very aware of creating rapport with people, of talking to people, of knowing your name, of knowing your needs, of knowing a little bit about you outside of the club. And whenever anyone walks into the club or is in there doing their thing, they get acknowledged, no matter how much time they've been there for. So you might have been a member for 4 years and I've seen you thousands of times, I'll still acknowledge you. Mm-hmm. So from day 1 to day 1,001, you'll still feel like he wants me to be here. He appreciates me being here. So we try and create this atmosphere that everyone feels welcome, acknowledged, supported, serviced, and accepted. All of that.
Now, you get a lot of member referrals.
Yep.
So do you have a system in place to make sure that you are asking for the referral and not just sitting back and waiting for them?
Yeah, we do like bring a friend weeks, and we have events outside of the club.
So you have like a full week where you can bring your friend for free?
Absolutely. I mean,
how often do you do that?
We probably run that maybe once every 3 months, 2 or 3 months. We don't want to do it too often. Like most good health clubs, we'll have a 12-month marketing plan, which we roll out and we review. So, January we tend to do a little bit of as with January, people are thinking about the new year, so we tend to do a little bit of a new you type promotion. Right. In the colder months of where I'm from, which is May, June, July, August.
It's colder over there.
Yeah. So switch the hemispheres and switch the seasons. We tend to do like a transformation or an eight-week program because they're the months where people tend to hibernate a little bit and find it a little harder to get out of the house and into the gym.
Right.
So we try and come up with programs, or we put in place programs which get people up, motivated, and back into the gym when they're maybe not using it quite so much. Awesome.
Okay, so we've talked about the sales now. We've talked about retention. I want to talk about the employees. Yeah. Because now you've already, in order to manage 2,000 customers, paying members, you have to have a decent staff, right? So how many staff members do you have right now?
We've got 5 full-time, and we've got about 20 in total, which would be sort of a 5 full-time and 15
part-time,
part-time,
sessional,
stuff
like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you had to give 2 or 3 great tips on building a great team, what are some things that you think are extremely important for people to keep in mind?
Yeah. You know, it's hard. Everyone knows that, but I think I live by a philosophy of hire slow, fire fast. So I'm very, I take my time. I don't, as amazing as someone presents themselves, and as well qualified as they are, and as personable as they are, and as amazing as they seem. You know, no one's really ever that good when after 6 to 12 months. You know, everyone sort of presents themselves as an A grader, but they don't always maintain that. So we're slow to hire people. We make it hard for people to get into our organisation, but that's kind of the way we start them out. We want to know that they really want to be there. We want to know that we're comfortable in putting them in position. And then once we get them in position, you know, we spend a lot of time working with them and supporting them and understanding them and keeping them focused and making sure that they're developing.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you say fire fast, tell me more about that.
Well, you know, I've made plenty of mistakes over time in bringing people into my company and into my business. You're not going to get it right 100% of the time. You'll make mistakes, and people change. You know, so people come in and they think the job involves one thing in it, and it's totally different to what they thought. So sometimes they make mistakes as well. But I think once you make the decision or get the feeling that this person doesn't fit, and you can't seem to find them fitting elsewhere in your organisation, then you know, I don't see the point in continuing that on, because in the end, it just creates a lot of stress for the business owner, and it probably creates a lot of stress for the employee, because people know. People know when they don't fit. I mean, I went to a presentation yesterday by Jay, who works in the hairdressing industry, and he was awesome. And he talked about culture, and he talked about fit, and he talked about the fact that he will work with his staff to make sure that they buy into that culture and buy into that the way that they do things. But if it doesn't work, he doesn't hesitate. Right. You know, and I'm probably a little bit the same way.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. So last thing before we part here, you've probably read some great books in order to build you up to who you are today.
Yeah.
So what would you say was 1 or 2 books that you go, man, that was really instrumental in me being successful? I really got some great takeaways there.
I'm a big reader of biographies and autobiographies. So business books, yeah, a little bit, but I like to read more biographies of people that have achieved
Which
stuff.
you can still totally learn from those, right? The same principles apply.
So, you know, Richard Branson, I've read a lot of his stuff. I've recently read Arnold Schwarzenegger's book, which I found... Total Recall, which I found really cool. There's a couple of people that are quite famous and successful in our country, which you wouldn't know about, but I've read their biographies as well. There's a gentleman called Eddie Maguire who's pretty big in our country, came from very humble beginnings and has become, you know, a very prominent person in Australian TV and in Australian sport. He's the president of the biggest sporting team in the country. Wow. And he, as I said, came from very humble beginnings. So just to read what he's done and how he's gone about it and how he's, you know, moved through the different circles of his life. Yeah, so that kind of stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. So guys, now you have some homework, you have some reading to do. Yeah. But thank you so much. This is something that a lot of people just can't imagine doing themselves at 2,000 member mark. And so I'm really glad you're able to share some of those strategies with us today. For all of you guys that listened in, that watched, I hope you enjoyed the episode and all of Russell's tips, and we will see you next week. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you like this episode, then subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher, and to our YouTube channel to never miss an episode. You can get all the links by going to boldshow.com. Thanks, and see you next time.